We're back for day 6 of our 7 days of yoga for low back pain. And today's maintenance. It's about maintaining everything that we've incorporated so far and using it in our daily life off the mat as well as on the mat. So let's get started. We're going to start seated and connect to our breath. This grounding exercise is really great in any portion of your day where you're just feeling a bit high, energy is too high, you're buzzing, a bit anxious, racing all over the place. We just take a second and stop. Even just 30 seconds or a minute of this breathing, paying attention to your breath, can ground you, bring you back down out of your head, bring you into your body, and calm the waters of your nervous system. Full belly breath, in and out through the nose. You can focus your attention on your belly rising and filling with air, and then falling back in towards your spine as you exhale. You can focus on the air passing through your nose. Just pay attention to the action of this intentional breathing that we're doing. This is what we're focusing on right now, nothing else. On your next inhale, take the arms to the sides and bring them up towards the sky as the breath fills the belly. And as you exhale, let them float back down beside your seat. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Next exhale, drop the left hand to the seat and reach the right hand to the left side of the room, filling the air into the right side of the rib cage. Next inhale, towards the ceiling. Exhale, drop the right hand to the seat, reach the left hand towards the right side of the room, and fill the left rib cage with air. And a little bit faster, inhale towards the ceiling. Exhale to the left. Inhale towards the ceiling, exhale towards the right. Inhale towards the ceiling, and this time as we exhale, we're going to twist to the left as far as we can, and then let the hands drop towards our seat. Keeping our spine and crown of the head nice and long. Fill the belly. And exhale, maybe you twist a little bit further. Not pushing or pulling with your hands at all. Inhale to center. Exhale to the other side. And letting the hands fall. Inhale all the way to the base of the spine, reaching the head towards the ceiling. Exhale, maybe you twist a tiny bit further. Inhale, arms towards the ceiling. Reach as far as you can upwards. Exhale, bring the hands through heart center. Now we'll come to tabletop and do some hip circles to warm up our seat. These can be small or large. I'm going to follow our own intuition today and do what you feel feels right for your body in this moment. You can switch directions. Do a quick cat-cow if that feels nice. When warming up my low back, I like to bring my cat back a little bit. Kind of a cat into a down dog. And as you're ready, tuck the toes under. Push the hips towards the ceiling. Keep a deep bend in the knees as we're in our first down dog. Pressure into the middle knuckle of your palm and reaching those sit bones up behind you. Breath here and walk yourself to the front of the mat. Feet hip width distance apart. Bend in the knees. Inhale, half lift. Pretend you're pinching a pencil in between your shoulder blades. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, weight into the heels, deep bend in the knees, rolling up to our Urdhva Hastasana, reaching the arms towards the sky. Exhale, hands through heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rolling up. Deep bend in the knees to protect the low back. Exhale, palms together at heart center. Inhale, reach towards the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to step our right foot back to the back of the mat and let the back knee drop to the mat. Coming into our low lunge, inhale. Keeping that tailbone pointing straight towards the floor and keeping your knee above your ankle. Inhale. Exhale, half splits. You can use your blocks or your props if you have them. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, back to low lunge. We're going to turn our back leg about 90 degrees. Keeping our front leg bent, we're going to lean into our front leg as if we were doing a low lunge, but with our back leg at this angle. And do an open twist, reaching towards the sky. A couple breaths here. On your next exhale, bring the arms down. We're going to tuck the back foot under and pivot towards the long edge of the mat, coming into a forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Point our toes slightly inwards, bend in the knees, and exhale, forward fold.
Couple breaths here. Again, pay attention to your own intuition and invite in some movement if it's calling you. You can sway back and forth, bend a little bit into each knee. Inhale, come up, and we're gonna bring our props with us if we have them and turn towards the other end of the mat, coming down into our low lunge. Inhale, exhale, half splits. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, turning the back leg 90 degrees, bending in as if we were going in for a low lunge into the front leg. I like to use my support and open twist, reaching the left hand towards the ceiling and letting the hips come forward as far as they can comfortably. Let the breath go all the way to the base of the spine and into that hip as we let it gently open. On your next exhale, bring the hands back down. Return to our forward fold against the long edge of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Take the hands to the elbows here and allow the neck to fully relax. Nod your head yes. Shake your head no. 2 deep breaths here. On your next inhale, come up to the hands. Bring your supports with you. And we'll turn back towards the front edge of the mat. And come into our downward dog. We're going to inhale, reach the right leg up behind you. Exhale, tuck the knee in towards the chest before placing it in between the palms at the top of the mat. We're going to come into our high lunge. So adjust however you need for your body. Inhale, reach towards the ceiling, keeping our tailbone long, and then pressing our hips downwards and forwards. Couple breaths here. Rooting down through the front heel, trying to stay low without compromising our low back. On our next exhale, we're going to bring our back foot in about a foot, maybe a couple inches, keeping our feet hip width apart, sort of as if you were on train tracks, keeping the hips square towards the front of the room. Exhale with a flat back, forward into our pyramid pose. This is a good time to use supports if you have them. Trying to keep the back as long as possible. Really keep strong through the feet, gripping the mat and making sure your base is holding you up and not your hands. On your next exhale, step the back foot back into our runner's lunge. And we'll do an easy twist. So left palm to the mat, right hand towards the sky. And exhale, bring the palms back to the mat, downward dog. And we'll come forward into a modified chaturanga. Absolutely skip this. If it's not part of your practice, doesn't feel good for you, you can leave it out and just meet us in downward dog. Inhale forwards, exhale all the way to the mat. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left foot rises. Exhale, knee to chest. And plant the left foot between the palms for our high lunge. Grounding down through the front foot, rise up. Couple breaths here in our strong high lunge. On your next exhale, bring your back foot in slightly, keeping the feet hip width. Exhale, flat back, pyramid pose. To increase the challenge in this pose, you can bring the arms out in front of you. This requires a lot of core, hamstring, and low back strength. Or you can keep hands at hips or hands on your supports. Strong through our base here and our foundation. Trying to keep our hips square as always, avoiding turning to make the pose easier for ourselves, which is very natural. And step the right foot back. We'll come into our easy twist, other side. Left hand goes towards the sky. And again, focusing on keeping our base strong. We're not dumping into the right hand. We're keeping strong in our foundation to get maximum benefit from this pose. Exhale, hands back to the mat. Downward dog. And modified chaturanga or leave it out. And we'll all meet in downward dog. Now notice if your downward dog feels any different than it did a little bit earlier in class. Maybe your shoulders feel a bit more open. Maybe your legs feel more open. Maybe there isn't very much change, but you're just able to be slightly more comfortable holding this pose. And we're going to walk our hands to meet our feet at the back of the mat. Forward fold and tuck your hands, the palms, underneath your feet. And allow the pressure of your feet on your hands and wrists to release a little bit. Sometimes we forget about the hands and the wrists, and they do a lot of work in all of these asanas. And heel toeing the feet slightly wider You can let the hips drop down to Malasana, yogi squat. Long spine here. And please use a block underneath your seat if this is difficult for you. The higher the hips are, the more accessible. The benefits of this pose are, and push knees into elbows to allow the spine to straighten even more. Making sure that prana and breath has the ability to flow freely through the channels of the body. On your next exhale, we'll come down to our seat. Readjust towards the center of the mat. And we're just going to do a quick little Navasana, boat pose, down into our laying position. So inhale, come into your boat pose. And if it's available to you, come down half boat onto the back. If not, grab the back of the thighs and lower yourself down. Using as much core strength as you can. And relax and release onto your back. Bringing the feet towards the ceiling, knees bent. Grab onto either the outside of your feet, big toe, side of your shins, wherever is available to you. And keeping the spine and tailbone long, try to prevent curling up into a ball. Pull the knees towards the armpits and the floor below you into our happy baby. If there's a voice calling you to rock back and forth, please do so. Or hold your stillness and embrace your need for stillness today as well, if that's where you're at. And we'll bring the knees into the chest. Give them a quick squeeze. Holding the right knee into the chest, let the left leg fall long in front of you. And exhale, allow the right knee to fall over to the left side of the mat. And a great way to incorporate supporting yourself and rest in your practice is to make this a bit more passive. Use your support, a block, a pillow, and put it underneath that knee on whatever level feels best for you. So you're not having to hold yourself there, you're just resting on the prop and allowing that stretch to just melt in. Letting go of our active breathing now as well. Here for a couple breaths. On your next inhale, bring the knee back to center. Pull the left knee in. Give them a squeeze, and we'll switch sides. Right leg goes out long, left knee to chest. And exhale. Allow the left knee to fall over to the right. And supporting it. if you wish. Really aiming to keep our left shoulder down towards the mat. Doesn't have to touch, just as close as is comfortable. On your next inhale, bring the knee back to center. Hug both knees in. Rock side to side. Before we let both legs lay out long and both arms out to our sides into our corpse pose. Softening and relaxing the entire body, and allowing the breath to return to normal. So maintaining the ability to bring your awareness to your physical body, maintaining movement in your day, and maintaining the ability to rest when your body needs it. Are all good ways to take care of yourself when you can. And there's no judgment on days when you can't. These practices and skills that you take with you are there for when you do have time and energy to utilize them. And with time, you start to use them more and more naturally. You find the ways and techniques that benefit you yourself the most. And yoga is wonderful in that aspect, that everybody can mold it and use it in a way that works for their unique life and body. And start to bring a little bit of movement back into the toes and fingers. Deepen the breath a little bit again. Reawaken your body. And we'll come back to a seat, however you can get yourself there safely. Take your time. Thank you for practicing. We'll see you next time.